This is a Friedtanzer from Awards Radar, and I'm so thrilled to be speaking with Hewson about Bad Sisters. How are you, Eve?
I'm good. I'm really, really good. Yeah.
I love this show. What is it that attracted you most to it?
Oh, God, everything. I mean, I read it and I was just like, oh shit, this is good. This is really, really, really good. I think I was sent the first episode, and my audition scene was when I knock Daryl over on the bike, and then the bar scene. And I just felt like this was someone that I knew so well. I grew up with girls like this. I was that girl. I was raised by women like the Garvey girls. So it felt really true to my heart. And I was like, I have to play this part. But then knowing the way that this business works, I really just didn't know if I had any chance. Um, and luckily I had a chance. It was great. I was so thrilled.
You think you're most like Becca or more like another sister?
Ooh, I it's funny because Becca's kind of all over the place and like a bit of a mad hatter, and I'm not entirely like that, but my soul is like Becca, if you know what I mean. Like um her heart and her kind of humor and all of this sort of all of that insecurity is kind of how I feel like internally in my soul. And so I really felt for her. She's sort of like a version of myself that I used to be, and more like any other character I've ever played. Um, Most characters I play are quite far from me, and it's like, um, you're sort of like wearing someone else's shoes, and it's much easier actually to do that. And I found it really challenging and and difficult to kind of open myself up and be that vulnerable and show more of myself than I ever have before. But then it ended up being so rewarding because people love Becca, and it kind of made me feel like people kind of love me, which is a nice feeling.
I think she is definitely very all over the place, but that's one of the things that makes her so watchable. And I love that she and Matt both go for a relationship that they know, even once they know it's a bad idea, they can't do anything to resist it. And what is it like working with Daryl and
Yeah.
just navigating that?
Oh, it's so much fun. Daryl's great. Like he's Irish as well, so he's just got loads of banter, and we have fun with each other. But yeah, that relationship I love because I mean the show is so funny and it's a kind of family drama, but it was nice too to do that kind of like screwball romance where it's like so wrong, it's so good, and this sort of like tension between them that they can't resist each other. And we had loads of fun kind of messing around with that. And the two characters are like so hopeless, you're just like, don't do it. um that Yeah, I think it ended up turning out really well. People love that relationship.
Yeah, and when I spoke with Sharon, she stressed just how great it was that this is such an Irish show that, almost all the actors are Irish. And do you feel that there's something very distinctly Irish about it aside from that, or could this story sort of take place anywhere?
I think it could take place anywhere, but I think what's interesting and smart is that it's very unique to Irish culture. And, you know, we didn't know if people were going to watch the show. We didn't know. I thought it would be a hit in Ireland and a hit in the UK. And I didn't know if it would translate to America at all. And it did. And people love it here. I'm in America at the moment, so that's why I'm saying that. But I think also authenticity is just it's underestimated, and learning about a culture, learning about a family that have their sort of their specific traits and their habits and their traditions. I think maybe we've lost a little bit of that in storytelling, and I think it's important to sort of embrace your individuality. And that's what Sharon did with this show, was she kind of made it uniquely Irish, and then somehow it became universally understood, um, which is fantastic. And it's like in Ireland, it's really nice for me to feel like I'm a part of being an Irish actor, to be a part of a show like this that's so just beloved at home. I'm really proud of that.
What was the experience of working with Sharon like?
Amazing. She genuinely is kind of like cool. Like she's just like a cool woman. I don't know how to describe it, but she has that sort of older sister energy of like you really want to impress her and like just think you're funny, and like when she laughs at your jokes, you're like, oh, she laughed at my joke. So yeah, she's fantastic, and she's just an absolute beast on set because she's writing, acting, producing. It's unbelievable, her her ability to do so much in one day. You know, like they say, like you have as many hours in the day as Beyonce. You also have as many hours in the day as Sharon Horgan. You know, you can like she inspired me to sort of do more, you know.
Yeah, it's also it's while there's definitely a lot of humor and it's entertaining to watch the show, there is some drama involved, especially in your scenes with Clay Spang. What is it like working with him and just building that relationship with the prick?
Oh, he's a little troublemaker, that Clay Spang. Um, yeah, I mean, he's really tall. He's like 6'6" or something insane. I'm 5'3". So actually I'm 5'4". Let me correct myself. But yeah, I mean, doing those scenes were really funny, but then also it was enjoyable for me to play Becka because I kind of like I really get to scrap with him. And yeah, just watching him be just so horrible. It was disgusting, you know. Even when we were doing our table reads, they would read those scenes, and we'd be like, oh, you know, awful.
Do you have a favorite murder attempt?
Oh, definitely the nasal spray, the Rohypnol and the nasal spray.
Is there like a lot of physical comedy that is involved that in the actual filming that translates to what we see on screen?
Yes, I mean there were days, specifically that sequence where we were crying, laughing. Um, it those there's so much joy and glee in Sharon's writing, and she has an ability to make it so authentic and feel so true. And then there's this sort of magical, fantastical, like ridiculousness that happens as well. And doing those sequences were so much fun. I mean, there was a shot that we were doing where we were running to the car to chase him, and we just couldn't stop laughing at how bad we all were at running. And just seeing us like spastically run down the drive to try and get in the car, we just looked like such idiots. Um, so days like that are extra fun.
I remember finishing watching the series and I got early episodes, and so it hadn't been renewed by that point. And I finished and I was like, well, that's it. It's such an amazing show, but the story's over. How sad. And then it got renewed. Did you have a sense earlier on that there might be more of this show?
I mean, when the show was done and we were promoting it to come out, I know I had heard the producers say, "Oh my gosh, the chemistry between you guys, blah 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 blah," and you always think, "Oh, the producers are just saying that, like they're just being nice." Like I'm really bad at taking compliments, so I was kind of like, "Oh yeah, 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 it's great, it's great, it's great." And then when I went and saw it, I understood what they meant. You know, there is a real magic between the five of us, and it does feel like a real family. And so then I understood why they were talking about doing a season two, because I think they really just wanted to continue the story with the five girls and see where it would lead them. And so I'm so excited to work with Sharon again. I'm so happy to go back and do it. I have no idea what's going to happen. I really, really genuinely don't. But I know it's going to be really good. If Sharon's committed to a season two, then you know it's going to be great.
Have you received any surprising reactions to Becca from people you know or just fans out there?
No, not really. I mean, mostly the reaction has been, it's really nice to see you play a character that's a lot like you. Which is dangerous to say something because Becca's a little bit she's a little crazy. But but yeah, I think what they mean by that is to see me more comedic and like more who I really am, and because I a lot of times I play very serious characters, and it's nice to kind of be free and have fun and not have to be so intense. I think that's what people are responding to. At least my friends have said that.
Well, I had the chance to see you in another role that I think I would describe as fun, which is Flora and Son, which was premiered at the Sundance Film Festival.
Yay.
That movie, I mean, I was at the premiere at the Ray Theater. It was a lot of fun. It's I think exactly what I expected, but also so much more. What can you share about that movie?
Oh man, I don't know. I feel like I'm just very lucky at the moment. Like I felt like that when I was casting a Nick, like I was in the right place at the right time, and this was like a moment for me, and it sort of brought me into a whole other understanding of acting and filmmaking and everything. And then Becca was like that same feeling of like I'm in the right place at the right time. I have to play this part. And then Flora came around, and I was like, oh my God, this I have to play. So I've been really just I feel like I've been sort of hit by lightning twice in the last year, and it's Bad Sisters and Flora. And I just love that character, and I love her humor. I know who she is. I grew up in Dublin. I know that girl. And that girl deserves her spotlight. And I just wanted to make sure that I did it right, that I honored her and John's writing, because it's really a story about his mother. Um, and we had so much fun coming up with who she is, and he's so amazing. His brain is just like magical and wonderful and weird, and I'm so proud of it. It's such a great film. I love that it's 90 minutes long. It feels like so scrappy in a way. Like it's an emotional story that happens, and it's not perfect. It's not perfectly, put together and packaged. It feels raw in a way. And I don't know. I was just like, I'm really, really proud of it. I'm so excited for it to come out and for people to see it, because it's also what I love about Bad Sisters is like it's fun. And Flora is also fun. Like the feeling of making people laugh and giving them a good emotional ride. And when they go to a movie theater, it's like at Sundance, I just felt so proud of making people laugh, and they were enjoying and they were crying, and it was like so euphoric.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And for those of us in the US, we can find it in the same place. It'll also be on Apple TV Plus, which is really nice, I think.
me and Apple were doing some good things together.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Eve, for taking a few minutes. It's a pleasure to speak with you about both of these wonderful projects.
Thank you so much, Abe.